What's up guys, my name is TechNubber here for Troubleshoot, and today I've got a super interesting, really time-saving video for you if you do anything with C or C++ programming. Today I'm going to be going through installing, setting up and using vcpkg, as well as some of the little nuances that come with using it that a lot of other tutorials don't really cover. Because this video is relatively long, the playbar should be divided into sections, as with all of my videos. And if your device doesn't support this YouTube feature just yet, check the description for timestamps. So of course, before we start with this video, you'll need the latest version of Visual Studio 2019 installed. Of course, if you're watching this in the future, it will still most likely work. Download the most updated version of Visual Studio that you can get. And if you'd like to download this project off of GitHub, you can use a tool like Git, or you can simply download the zip directly from the website. That is up to you. In order to check if you have Git installed, hold start, press R, type in cmd, hit enter, and inside of this command prompt window, simply type git, hit enter. If you see a response like this, then you have Git installed properly. So before we begin, what exactly is vcpkg? Well, as said on Microsoft's official GitHub page, vcpkg helps you manage C and C++ libraries on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. This tool and ecosystem are constantly evolving, and your involvement is vital to its success. Basically, you give it a command to download and build, say, OpenSSL 32 and 64-bit, as well as the debug and release libraries. Then it just simply goes ahead and does that. It downloads it, builds it, giving you its libraries, binaries, and includes, as well as all of that for each dependency. So yeah, if something requires, say, OpenSSL, Boost, and a bunch of other stuff, it'll automatically download the required versions, build them, and then build the project that you're trying to build in the first place. I've never used it before because it's not included with Visual Studio. I downloaded it and had no clue what I was doing. After figuring it out, using it once, I completely forgot about it. This time I went a lot more into depth, learned all about it, and it's actually an incredibly useful tool if you're not using something similar already. As for alternatives, I'm not exactly sure, but there probably are some out there. So first of all, we need to go ahead and clone the Microsoft GitHub repository. So I'll click clone or download, and here is where you can choose to download it with Git or download the zip. I'll download it with Git. So after copying this repository URL over here and heading across to a folder, I'll put it on my SSD just to make this a lot quicker and a lot less painful. I'll go ahead and open up a CMD window in this folder. Then I'll simply go ahead and type in git clone followed by the link as such. And now we're downloading all of the files into a nice little vcpkg folder over here. This could take some time. Once it's done, I'll go ahead and close out of this command prompt window because we'll mainly be using a PowerShell throughout this tutorial. So I'll open up the vcpkg folder, and over here we have some files. What I'll do is I'll shift right click in an empty spot, and I'll go ahead and click open PowerShell window here. It doesn't matter if you run it in admin mode or not. Next up, we'll be typing in a dot as well as a backslash. This is to open something in the directory that we're currently in. I'll type in boot, press tab, and we'll be running bootstrap-vcpkg.bat. I'll go ahead and hit enter, and this will initialize some things inside of the folder over here. So we'll simply just wait for this to build, and then we can continue. So next up, I'll be doing it dot backslash once again, and this time I'll type in vcpkg, vcpkg, space, integrate, space, install. Now this will link it with our current Visual Studio version so that we can use the libraries and includes that we'll be generating with vcpkg. So I'll hit enter as such. Then you'll see applied user-wide integration for this vcpkg root, which means it's successfully installed and it'll start working with our Visual Studio projects. Down here, you also get a cmake command that I'd highly recommend you go ahead and copy by selecting it, right-clicking, and then going ahead and saving it into a text file somewhere on your PC so that you can access it later. Because manually going through each of the files and finding this exact file over here would take some time if you don't know what you're looking for. I'd recommend you do this, even if you don't think you're going to use cmake in the future. You never know, you may just as well, and it may come in useful. So basically, I'll be running through some of the commands that are available on this wiki page over here that'll be linked down in the description below, which are some of the commands for the C++ package manager. Though some of the things in here aren't explained the best, I'll try and do my best to explain on top of what they have explained over here. Either way, so let's start with a simple example. Inside of PowerShell, let's say I wanted to go ahead and download SQLite 3. What would I do? Well, first of all, I'll see if the package is actually available. CLS to clear your screen, and I'll type in ./vcpkg space search and SQLite 3 or the name of the package that I want to find. Then you'll usually get a bunch of results. I'll make my window a bit bigger, and you can see what is available to go ahead and download and build automatically. Then when you find what you're looking for and it's actually there, we can go ahead and install it. So ./vcpkg space install space the name of the project, so SQLite 3. Then I'll hit enter, and it'll go ahead and download and build the x86 version over here, as you can see. Though I don't want to download the x86 version, so I'll hit Ctrl+C to cancel it. What's cool about this is you can download and install more than just one at a time. So I'll press up to go back to my previous command, I'll press space, and I'll type in SQLite 3 : followed by x64-Windows. Now this is another version. We have x64-Windows, x86 Windows, and a bunch of other ones that I think are covered on the Microsoft wiki page, though I'm not exactly sure. Though for most people, you'll only really be using the x86 as well as x64 versions of any packages. So what exactly will happen when I hit enter? Well, it'll go ahead and download and build the SQLite 3 32-bit as well as 64-bit libraries. So I'll hit enter and simply wait for this to finish. Note that building these projects will take just as long as building them anywhere else, but this does make the process a hell of a lot easier, especially for programs that need lots of dependencies. When I was downloading and building OpenSSL, it required Strawberry Perl and a bunch of other things to be downloaded and installed. I think even possibly Python somewhere along the line. Those were all downloaded and installed as well. As you can see, it's currently downloading PowerShell Core. This will go through run to completion, and then it'll go ahead and do a bunch more on top of that. There we go. I'll leave this to run through. Alright, so I have absolutely no idea why this is taking so long to happen. This was probably the quickest part of the project yesterday. Basically, it downloaded 7-zip to unpack packages, downloaded a portable version of NuGet, and now it's trying to download Git. However, this portable Git doesn't seem to be downloading. It's going into my vcpkg folder over here, followed by downloads. And it's going into this over here, which seems to have made some progress. I'm going to go ahead and see how big this download is and see if it's worth restarting this process. And it seems it's 40.83 megabytes, and it's still very slow, downloading at 20 kilobytes per second for some reason or another. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this, and I'm going to go ahead and download this file manually myself. As for why it's so slow to download here, I have absolutely no idea, but using something like Internet Download Manager, it zooms through at above 3 megabytes a second. Either way, I'll go ahead and drag and drop that file in here myself manually. So there we go. I've gone ahead and downloaded this file, added it here myself. I'll press up and run the previous command again. Let's see if this works a bit better this time. Extracting Git. While forgetting about that simple little glitch over there, you can see it's now gone through and built the 64-bit version. Now it's building the 32-bit version, both debug and release. And there we go, it's dropped us back to over here. So if we have a look inside of the file structure over here, we have the vcpkg folder, then we have installed. We have 64 and 86, as well as a vcpkg folder. So inside of 64, we have bin, debug, include lib, and share. Bin contains binaries. Debug contains debug binaries, as well as debug libraries. And we have include over here, obviously for the .h include files, as well as lib over here for the release libraries. Then we have the exact same folder structure inside of x86 Windows for the exact same thing. But they're all going to be grouped together inside of these folders, where these folders will get relatively full depending on how many packages you have there. If you want to see them individually, simply open the packages folder inside of the vcpkg folder, and inside of these you'll find the exact same file structure. However, these are all separated into their individual project names so that you can take these out one by one and use them elsewhere. This installed library over here is mainly used for your projects on your PC, and this will be linked to your Visual Studio so that everything is consolidated into one place. This makes including things relatively easy. All you need to do is type in include, followed by the name of the library, and it grabs everything it needs from those combined folders. This program becomes incredibly useful with things like Boost, where there's thousands of packages to download and build. You can see what I mean by typing in /vcpkg search Boost. And over here, we have all of these Boost modules, as well as an original Boost up here. So there's quite a few things that attach onto Boost, and building these yourself would take some time to say the least. But how exactly can we do this? Well, I'll not only go ahead and build a 32-bit Boost, but I'll also go ahead and build 64-bit Boost at the same time. So vcpkg install Boost, as well as space Boost : x64-Windows I'll hit enter, and I seem to have misspelled VC package. There we go. It's gone through and selected all of the ones that we'll be downloading. These are all of the add-ons, as well as the main module up here, both 64 and 32-bit Windows, debug, and release. So, as you can see, started package 1 out of 296. We'll go ahead and wait for this to finish. There we have it. After a bit of time, it's done. So next up, I'll be searching for curl just to give you an example of something else. So VC package search curl. As you can see, inside of brackets, there are different versions of curl. This one over here supports SSL, SSH, OpenSSL, etc., etc. How exactly do we install curl with OpenSSL support? Well, it's actually rather simple. Simply /VC package once again, followed by install curl, and this time we'll add brackets and we'll say OpenSSL as such. Then we'll do the same thing, space curl, brackets OpenSSL, close brackets, colon x64-Windows, hit enter, and it'll download curl, both 64-bit and 32-bit with OpenSSL support. And of course, I misspelled curl, fixing it. There we go. As you can see, it's searching for it and it's downloading it with all that is necessary, which are these over here. If I were to go ahead and cancel it and remove that bracket OpenSSL as such, run it again, you'll see that they download these ones over here, and it doesn't have OpenSSL support as it does up here. So this is with the bracket OpenSSL, and this is without. Now, instead of wasting some more time and actually downloading these, I already have them downloaded and usable inside of another directory, but you can believe me that they download and they work properly. This is the package that installed Perl and a bunch of other things to go ahead and process, and everything's kept nicely separated. Having a look inside of our downloads folder, we have all of these sources over here, as well as the portable versions of programs used to create these files. But going back a folder into installed, going into 64 followed by lib, you can see all of the libraries over here that we can use in our projects, from LZMA to Python, SQLite, zlib, etc., etc. And of course, we have the pre-filled binaries over here that we can include with programs and attach that way, as well as the include folder over here. So instead of giving you more examples of installing different things, because I'm quite sure you can find that out yourself, now that I've shown you the basics of that, there's one last thing that I want to show you, and that is the correction when you're searching. So I'll do /VC package search, and I'll search for crypto++ as such, and I'll hit enter. Now, as you can see, VC package search crypto++ returned with crypto pp, which is the actual name of the library, because of course you won't be able to have pluses inside of most directory addresses. So in order to install a crypto++, I'd have to do /VC package space install crypto pp. Though I think having the 2 pluses would also work. Now that we've got a bunch of packages installed, how exactly do we go ahead and update them? Well, it's actually pretty simple. /VC package space upgrade. Now, when you do this the first time, it'll only tell you packages that are out of date. It won't actually do anything to your files just yet. This is purely a dry run. In order to actually update them, add a space, no, dry, run, and hit enter. This time, when it goes ahead and lists everything, it'll go ahead and download the updated versions, build them, etc., etc., and replace them, which is rather useful. And on the wiki, it also mentions a couple of other arguments that we can add here. One being keep going, meaning that if one fails, it'll carry on updating the rest. This is rather useful. If you want to update only specific packages, you can go back here and add the package name. So let's say curl as such, you'd hit enter, and it would go ahead and make sure to update just that one file. So to go ahead and remove a package like SQLite 3, I'll go ahead and type in /VC package space remove, followed by the name of the package. So I'll use SQLite 3, and over here, I'll put a space followed by --recurse. And this will remove not only SQLite 3, but everything that depends on SQLite 3. So if I were to go ahead and remove, say, zlib or something that's included in building a lot of packages, it would remove quite a few if I included this recurse after it. But removing it and having it as such, hitting enter, it'll remove exactly what I told it to remove. But I'll go ahead and remove the 64-bit versions as such, and I'll type in recurse and hit enter. Though, because nothing depends on it, nothing else was removed. Either way, I've gone ahead and I've removed SQLite 3. As you can see, it's out of this folder. And if we had a look inside of the collected folder over here, where everything's stuck together, inside of the include folder, we no longer have SQLite 3, meaning it was also uninstalled from over here. In order to get it back, we'll have to download it and build it all over again. So note that when you type in vcpkg install followed by a library name, as such, when you hit enter, it'll automatically go ahead and download the x86 version for 32-bit computers. However, you can make it default to 64-bit PCs simply by hitting start and typing in variable as such, and clicking on edit the system environment variables. And inside of here, we'll go into environment variables in the bottom right, and we'll simply go ahead and click new under system variables, and we'll enter the following. You can find this in the description down below. So vcpkg default triplet, x64 Windows, OK, and I'll hit OK here as well. I'll close out of PowerShell. I'll go back to my vcpkg folder, shift right click, open PowerShell, /vcpkg, install SQLite 3, enter. And as you can see, it's now default downloading the 64-bit version. And in order to download the 32-bit version, we'll have to add a x86-Windows as such, and hit enter. So now that we've gone through removing packages, how exactly do we unlink this entire folder over here? Well, it's actually rather simple. If you don't want to use it inside of projects anymore, simply run /vcpkg integrate remove. You'll run this every time you want to move this entire folder over here to make sure that things point to the right directory. Assuming that you've moved it to a different directory, you can run /vcpkg integrate install, and it'll add support right back. So now that we have everything set up and we have a couple of libraries downloaded and installed, how exactly do we use them inside of a C++ project? Well, it's rather simple if you're going to be making a new one. So I'll go ahead and start up Visual Studio now. I'll go ahead and make a new project, C++, I'll make it a simple console app, and I'll place it in a temporary location as such, create, and now all that we have to do to include something like, I don't know, let's say boost, all I need to do is go ahead and hit enter, #include, and you can see that we have tons of options here. However, I'll type in BOO, and as you can see, we have a boost folder. Hovering over it tells us exactly where it's located. So hdev vcpkg installed x86 Windows include boost. So I'll simply include one of these files over here at random, and I'll go ahead and save it. And as you can see, it's integrated properly. If I switch to 64-bit, go back to here, and hover over it once again, you'll see now it says dev vcpkg installed x64 Windows include boost. So this is the correct version, and everything's working properly. So if you don't want to install integration for global support, you can install it on a project-by-project basis, meaning that you can have multiple versions of vcpkg with multiple versions of packages. So I'll go ahead and remove the integration as such, vcpkg integrate remove, and I'll make a new project. This time, making a new line and adding include. If I go ahead and type in boost, you'll see absolutely nothing pops up, no suggestions. Now, if I were to go ahead and save this project where it is right now and close out of Visual Studio, I'll run /vcpkg integrate, and I'll say project this time. I'll hit enter, and it'll do something slightly different. With the project open, go to Tools, NuGet Package Manager Console, and paste in the following. So inside of this folder over here, we've made ourselves our own NuGet package. So scripts and build systems. Scripts, build systems, and here is our integration for a project of our choosing. I'll go ahead and open up Visual Studio, click on a project, and test to see if include works. As you can see, we don't have boost installed. But what we can do is follow the instructions that we saw over here. So I'll copy this whole command over here, and I'll do exactly what it says. Tools, NuGet Package Manager Console. Then inside of here, I'll simply paste it in with Ctrl-V. As such, hit enter, and it'll link up with our vcpkg installation. As such, and now it's done. Now if we go back up here, type in boost, you can see the folder appears and everything's working as expected, and it's integrated only for this project over here. If I close out of it and head back to that first project that I created when we installed it, you can see that the integration no longer works, and there is no boost installed. So that's a super simple breakdown of vcpkg. Of course, I have it installed elsewhere, so to simply get back to my other installation, I'll simply integrate remove here, and I'll navigate to the other folder where it actually is. Over here, I have some of the packages that I built in previous videos, and I have vcpkg. Opening up a PowerShell window here, I can run vcpkg, integrate, install, and it's all set up to how it was before, and I've removed it from the second directory. So that's basically what you do if you want to move it from one location to another. Inside of here, I have a ton of packages that I've gotten installed, including Boost, OpenSSL, and a bunch of other things. Of course, if you'd like to remove vcpackage entirely, simply just integrate remove and then delete the entire folder as such. And there we go. That's about it. Thank you for watching. My name has been Technoba here for Troubleshoot. Hopefully you found this video useful, and hopefully I can condense it far down from the hour and a half that I spent recording it. Either ways, I'll see you all next time. Ciao.